Hello everyone, how are you all? Welcome to me doing another video beyond Astro K, and today I'm bringing you the nodal axes changing that is happening in Aries and Libra. So we have the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra, which is happening in July the 18th. It's funny that this is going to be happening in when Sun is going to be in Cancer, because it can feel a bit like a square moment happening. But anyway, so we have the nodals that is changing. The last time we had this was in 2004 to 2006. Before that was 1980. We're going way back, guys. Yes, so even before that was 1986 to 1987, 88. Then before that, we had it in the 60s. And for those of you who remember, the 60s, there was a lot happening. We had the assassination of Martin Luther King. We had the civil rights movement. Okay. No one could forget the 60s in a hurry. But also, there was a lot of children that were born then who were actually going through their nodal return. Happy nodal return for those of you who are born in the 60s, in the 80s, and the 2000s. And also in the 80s, obviously, what happened then was a lot of discord. Check that out, what happened then. But there was a lot of positive changes that happened in terms of like entertainment and fashion. There was like a brand new beginning that happened. In the noughties, we had sort of like similar themes. Music-wise was good, but still we were aging sort of closer to that recession that was happening. But even before that, I personally, even when I look back what happened then, it started off quite good, maybe because the nodes were in Taurus, but then it sort of like ended a little bit icky. Okay. So yeah, so feel free to look back what happened then. And if you remember what happened then, like if you was like a teenager, if you were a young adult, similar themes can sort of happen, but not exactly the same. Because the last time it happened, we had Saturn, which was in, I believe, Leo. We had Uranus, which was in Pisces. So it was a very, very much a different time, guys. And even before that, in the 80s, Saturn was in Sagittarius. And we also had Uranus in Sagittarius as well. And if you go further, it was different. So similar things will happen, but it's not going to be the same. So what about the North Node in this sign? So we're coming to like to a beginning of a cycle that started in 2004. And you could say it will end when Saturn's in Pisces. But Aries are the babies of the zodiac. They're like the beginning of the zodiac. So, as we already know, the North Node, it does represent our life purpose, like what's going on within us. It's like the lunar nodes. And with it being in Aries, this is about us like going forth, but also trusting our instincts. Aries is like the fighter of the zodiac. So there's going to be a lot of that going on. This is about saying your truth, standing up for ourselves, but also being independent. Okay, this is what one of the main things that's going to be happening. The South Node in Libra, and this is for people who are having their nodal return. This is for you guys who are having it. So you 60s, 80s, and noughties kids. So with the South Node being Libra, it's definitely about balance, but also about relationships. So we are going to be with South Node in Libra. It's about there's a bit of it's not going to be like Aries, like being independent. This is about sort of like really depending on our partner and finding more like strength within partnership, being a bit more being more confident in partnership. Everything's going to be more fulfillment. So we're going to be having to search for that sort of more or less like leadership within ourselves. So we are going to be on a brand new journey. We're learning how to start projects, pioneer projects. This is about listening to our heart, of course, also our head. There's definitely going to be like a element of being very spontaneous, being not like listening to people, but just going forth and pioneering change, you know, initiating change. There are going to be stuff, there are going to be themes as well, because themes, you guys know I have lots of favorite words that I constantly use, and every time I speak to you there's always a new word. So themes is another one, but one of the main themes is that we're going to be um doing things, knowing that we are confident and doing things by ourselves and not listening to the herd, not waiting for something to happen. It's just going for it. And, you know, wherever the nodes are, especially if you look where Aries is and look where Libra is in your house chart, that's going to be activated. Okay. This is a time where we're not, you know, we're coming from Taurus, which is definitely to do with like money, you know, finances. Taurus and Scorpio, which actually was traditionally ruled by Mars. We were dealing with like our money and our self-worth. We were dealing with like debts and loans and finances. But now we're dealing with something very different now. We are dealing with, you know, starting something new, driving ourselves forward. I can see a lot of people like starting up businesses, going their own path, and not being afraid. I think I've said that before, but it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be like that time, guys, where, you know, you're gonna be, there's gonna be, there can be some crashes and burns that can happen with this. Everything is like what we started or what we were comfortable with when the North Node was in Taurus is now we're gonna scrap that book and start fresh. It's like it's no longer gonna be working. And even, you know, with the South Node in Libra, it's like we're so comfortable with being in that relationship. We're so comfortable with dealing with themes that are togetherness, that we're going to see that things are actually not going to be working. So yes, we can be afraid of going it alone. We can be afraid that we're not going to have that sort of like partnership or that contract, or, you know, the law didn't go the way we wanted it to because things were really going our way. But now it's like we're going to be actually dealing with the real stuff. That's what Aries rules. It's about dealing with that real stuff. It's also about us seeing where, you know, we are codependent on other people's views, codependent on other people's um, how they want us to look. When it comes to aesthetics as well, like we are, because with it being in Taurus, we saw like a change when it came to like beauty and fashion. And remember, we're going through this Venus thing again, but we're now going to be getting out of this outdated image of how one should look, on how we actually should look, and how we actually want to feel, and how we actually need to be like that individual. So these things are good. And it's not to say with the South Node that we have to leave it behind. It's just a case of we're going to a different journey now. And yes, we can take some of the themes from Libra, but it's going to be also propelling us forth towards something brand new, something that we have to do really and truly for ourselves. So yes, so we're going to be, there's a lot of taking direction. Another thing I see with this North Node in, because another thing I was going to say before is that when this happens on the 18th, the card for this is the Star card. It is the Star card. And Star card, it's Aquarius card, very much about positivity. It's spiritual, but it's also about healing. So I feel that a lot of us are going to be very inspired to heal when it comes to our codependence on things, and also finding like some calm, and also finding like some stability in initiating themes that are going to be pioneered, things that people will be jumping on and being inspired by. This card is also about the future as well. So there can be, and it's also about creativity and being artistic. So I do see that a lot of people will be much more going their way in doing something artistic. I see that there can be definitely a big push to work for the self. I feel that a lot of it's not. Of course, I do see that there can still be you working for like a company, but I do see there's more push to work for yourself. We've been talking about this for a very long time. A lot of us astrologers and tarot readers, spiritual people that are on high vibration, and then also this also definitely could be because of the we are in the air conjunction of Aquarius that started in 2020, and when it was in Capricorn or when it was in Taurus, it was like working in that whole corporate thing, earning money, getting big houses and cars and that. But now we're in Aquarius, people are going to be seeing, and also because of the pandemic, we're going to be seeing actually, I there's something I'm actually passionate about, something I want to lead. I want to actually do and work for myself. So I feel that during this North Node, this renewal, brand new renewal, that we are like this spiritual renewal that we're all having, is that there can be that surge on it, So am I saying businesses will lose out? Not necessarily, no. I just see that more that people will be working more on what they're about, what they what they're passionate about, what they want to bring to the world. They want to, you want to start a business. This is going to be that time. And, if people are going to jump on board with you, that's great. If they don't, I'll still do this by myself. And yes, it could be creative, but it also could be a different type of like media, a different type of pioneering type of job or sense of security for themselves. And again, I do see some people working with groups, but I also see people not being afraid to go it alone and do it by themselves and hiring people. Okay. So yeah, so that's what this star card is also saying, that a lot of us can see through the future, like more or less like see through the universe, because guys, we come here by ourselves anyway. Yes, we've come from someone, but we've also are here. All of us are here for a journey. It may not be long, but we're here. We're all here for like a soul purpose. And Aries is just reminding us that, remember, this is what you're here for. You may have forgotten, but we're here for that. Because let's go back to like when the nodes were in Cancer. The last time it was in a cardinal sign, it was about home, about our feelings, about self-care, about family. We had to also pioneer that way. We had to really dig deep. And it wasn't easy, that. But now we're going back into another cardinal. It's like, okay, what have you done from Cancer till now? What do you want to start? So this card is showing it is a very positive time. It's also about healing the body, because that's what Aries rules. Aries rules the physical body. So I feel that there's going to be more of a big, not even like a push, but I feel that people are taking care of themselves more physically, because Aries 6th house is Virgo, and Virgo is about, routines. So I feel that we're going to be taking more of a routine way of taking care of ourselves. You're seeing already on social media that people are doing like heavy weightlifting, and Aries rules like muscles because it's Mars. So I feel that people will be doing a little bit more weightlifting, a bit more weight bearing exercises, because even if we look at what type of exercise Aries can do, it could be like martial arts, football, basketball, gymnastics, boxing, sprinting. I feel that some of us may still do that, but some of us may move away from that. We could actually see, I need to get more stronger because I've got all these projects on the go. I'm starting a new company, starting a new business. So I need to like feel more stronger. I need to feel that I can get up in the morning and do this. So yeah, so I feel weightlifting, but even other types of bearing exercises, like there's this woman called Ali Karmanova. She's on yoga. She's a yoga teacher, but she's also, she comes to mind actually because she's actually Aries. She's been around on YouTube for 10 years. She's Bulgarian. She got a channel on YouTube. She's also got a channel. She's also got a membership that you guys can check out on, yeah, if you Google Ali Carmenova, interval yoga. She's sort of like pioneered a new type of workout, which is interval yoga. So instead of just doing like the traditional yoga, she does interval. So it's a mixture of like strength, high intensity with spiritual. She also talks about spiritual leading. She's also into astrology as well, but it's a mixture. So instead of just doing like cardio, then yoga, she mixes it all up together. And she, I say, she's Aries. So she's been doing it for 10 years. So check her out, guys. I feel that her channel, even though she is big on social media, I feel it's going to blow up even more because of the different type of yoga that she's pioneered. And she does do the traditional, but it's mixed with what she has learned. And she's also a herbalist too. So check that out. So yeah, so a lot of different things when it comes to the physical body we're going to be doing. Obviously, we can go too far. You know, Aries likes to rush. Aries likes to do things quickly, wants to see quick results. But because it's ruled by Mars and ruled by the muscles, we've got to take care we don't strain ourselves. Okay? So yeah, but a lot more care when it comes to that. So when it comes to like the type of other wellness aspect, because that's one of the wellness aspects for Aries. When it comes to the other wellness aspects, when it comes to like essential oils that you could use, I would say black pepper, because black pepper is good for like muscles. You know, if we're going to the Aries and we're going to go to the Libra, it's not to say they don't like to exercise, they do, but it's more for like looking good. Aries does it for movement, okay? And also, Libra, like Taurus, they like to exercise, but it doesn't feel like they like massages and that. So I say that because black pepper is really good when it comes to like massages. It helps with like the muscles. Geranium oil is very good as well. Orange, lemon, tea tree, because we could be, even though this is a go, go, go energy, we could also get quite run down. And tea tree is really good. It's very like antibacterial in that. And of course, my trusty lavender, guys, which can help us to be calm and just be relaxed as well. Okay. So another thing I was going to say with this before I go and talk to the signs is that it will square Pluto in Capricorn because, you know, it ebbs and flows. So there'll be that square to Pluto. So we have to be very mindful of that. And for Aries, it does score the 10th house. But in general, for all of us, we're going to feel that square. So we're going to see a little bit of a niggle that can happen when it comes to like our destiny. But it is showing us that sometimes whatever happens, it's because that, you know, if we're having trouble going forth, it's because we have to, there's lessons that we're going to have to learn. So, and we may have to go back on. So I feel that, yes, it's going to be a bit of a headache, but it's also just bringing us to, sort of like grounding and bringing us to home, bringing us to know where our destinies lie so that we just don't forget those lessons as well. Okay. So guys, that was my take on, oh, before I go, I have my trusty cards for the general collective for this North and South, North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra. So the first card I've got for the collective is Transform Anger. You really couldn't make this up, guys. Transform anger. Okay. Yes, we can, a lot of us can be very much emoting our feelings. Let's not forget, Aries is a sign that brings everything out into the open. So we can also be very impatient, you know, especially if you're going through North Node return. But all of us can be very impatient, regardless of what house it is. So this card is saying we have to know how to transform it. So transforming it through the physical, transforming it through getting yourself moving, transforming and taking deep breaths, transforming in being by, we're not going to be afraid. A lot of us, we can be afraid to be by ourselves, but we're not, during this time, we're not going to be afraid to be by ourselves. So taking that time out, sort of taking those breaths, thinking before we speak, or trying to think before we speak. We have to transform it differently. We can't be the baby. We can't scream and shout to get what we want. We have to transform. We have to do it in a different way. In order for us to get what we want in the way we want, we have to do it differently. Okay? So when it says transform anger, we just have to know what we want, but not get aggressive with it. The second card is ground yourself. You really couldn't make this up, guys. So ground ourselves. In the tarot, this card is the Devil card. It's not to say, because remember, even though there's greatness with this North Node, there's also shadow sides, and the shadow side can be greed. The shadow side can be, oh, this is what's mine, I don't care. The shadow side could be, just being greedy and gravelicious and holding on tight and refusing to see other people's point of view, refusing to let go. So how can we ground ourselves? Okay, we're going to be very physically active. It's going to be very high alert. Finding ways to, because not everyone's going to be like boxing and running. And I feel that if you're used to doing that, you have to go another way. So I feel that even though it may not be important for some, I feel doing yoga will help. I feel that being around people that are like-minded, that understand you, people that you can talk to, reading, because remember, Aries is a sign that likes, let's do this, let's start this. So we have to learn. So reading, if you want to be the first at something, be the first that knows about a subject. That's a form of grounding. If you want to understand yourself, if you've never gone to like therapy, for instance, be the first to do therapy. If you are used to running, try to walk. If you've never been interested to have a vacation, this is a form of grounding. There's many things that we can do to ground. And remember, Aries is a very competitive sign. It wants to do things first. Yes, Libra wants to do things, together, but we're doing something new now. So let's not forget to ground. And the last card we have is you have support. So going through all these cards, we're going to have a lot of support in what we, especially if people believe in us. And it's not to say that we have to do things, because yes, we can go to that Libra way of, being, because I love Librans. I've got a lot of people that I know have been Librans, but the downside of them, they can be very, not wishy-washy, but beg friend. We say it in Jamaica, beg friend, but it's actually like people pleasing in order to gain peace, in order to get the support, in order to get everyone can just get along. But in order for us to have support and people to actually, understand where we're coming, we just have to be truthful. And the people that don't want to support us, that means they don't really believe in us. But the people, if we're being truthful and people understand, you will get a lot of support. I feel that if we are asking for help, it can come. I feel that if we are being honest, that can come. There's many types of support that a lot of us can get. So even though we're going to be doing things by ourselves, not being afraid to ask. Because it's not a weakness to ask. Again, two heads are better than one. So know that support is there for you, especially if you feel, because some of us can actually feel alone during this transit. Yeah, some of us may actually feel that if we depend too much on people, that means that we can't actually get some stuff done. That means that we can't do it by ourselves, and we can. But there's nothing wrong in asking for help and also for support. Okay. So guys, that was my North Node in Aries and South Node in Libra interpretation theme. And before I go on even longer, let's get to the signs. So, of course, we're going to start off with the star of the show, which is Aries. And Aries, this is in your 1st and 7th houses with these nodes. So some of you could definitely look back on what happened, 18 years ago, and see what can be, it could be what can be fixed now, or what can you actually start now. Because, you know, these nodes are like a beginning. Even though it's backwards, it's still like a beginning of a cycle. And obviously, any of you guys, happy North Node return, who are having their North Node return, happy. But it is still a big major time, because even again, the whole cycle is like a beginning of a new cycle for a lot of us. So with this in your 1st, this is about the self, the physical body. These things that you guys, of course, may be starting, could be ending as well. Because you're ruled by the physical, because I can see like a lot of Aries, and I feel there's a lot of questions coming up. A lot of you actually really implementing and starting something brand new. Whether it's a new job, a new relationship, because the South Node's in your 7th. A new course of action, dressing differently, you know, changing up your hair, changing up your clothes, changing even your whole identity. And also, of course, changing your body, because, you know, Virgo rules your 6th house of, you know, health. So you guys, you know, you guys could get very strict, could get very on it. Like, I'm going to be, of course, before, when it was in Taurus, it was in your 2nd house, may have not have been the most healthiest, very focused on your money and your earnings, just eating on the go, or eating different types of food, but just not making it digest, all that type of thing, but just being very busy. But now this is in your 1st, it's like, okay, I'm really going to take care of myself properly. I'm going to sit down at proper meal times. If I'm going to snack, it's going to be very healthy. Also, working out. This can also lead to a time where we are looking at things very differently. So I think even if you see or hear like a lot of astrologers or tarot readers, if you read about Aries, you know, everything is very full on, everything is very fast, everything is ruled by the head. So you could see yourself doing things very, being very on it, very fast, and it could be very strict as well. Try not to be too strict, but again, you guys could be very strict. So there could be more muscle building, more, because I see that for everyone, for all the signs, this is about the physical. Yeah, regardless of where it hits. A lot of this is to do, if you like, especially listen to the beginning, what I just said, a lot of this is to do with like our physicality, our physical self. Everything's going to be about me. So yes, I feel some of you may definitely join a gym, or even do like your own type of workouts, you know, setting up schedules, you know, and especially with the South Node being in your 7th house, yes, your relationships, there's going to be some definitely changes happening there, but I don't think a lot of you want anything to hinder your schedule in any way. You guys are going to be feeling very ambitious now, and if you may look and see, actually my relationships are not, the relationship that I have is there might be you might feel there's a bit of a hindrance, like, you know, you got a schedule and your partner comes in, wants this, wants that, or they need this, and it's just like, you know what, you know, I told you this is what I'm going to be doing, so why are you, you know. And you know, Aries, you're a fire sign, you're very blunt, so there could be some drama and arguments that come up because you don't want anything to hinder it. So there could be you guys thinking, you know, I don't need this anymore, I don't even mind being on my own. I actually want to be alone. I actually want my own home. I want my own house. I want my own space. You know, I'm taking care of myself now. You are hindering it. You know, you're cooking this type of food. I don't really want this. And, you know, so there's definitely changes that's happening. You're having a relationship with your body. You're having a relationship with yourself. You know, especially the squares that's going to be happening in your 10th house as well. There's going to be some, you know, this is to do with your, you know, your career and your job. So yes, some of you may have decided that you want to work for yourself, and now it may be that time that some of you do, because you may be clashing with your boss. Your boss may be knowing that you're working hard, and afterwards, then they're still not giving you that a proper appraisal, or you know your money's still the same. So this North Node may see you really and truly being confident to really go it alone. And if anything hinders you in any way, unfortunately, it could definitely be a relationship. And it just doesn't have to be personal. It's just like a relationship in general, if it's business, you know, any type of partnership can really dissolve, because you are all about something fresh, something new, something that is going to be bringing you forward instead of holding you back. So there could be a ruthlessness that comes with this, and it definitely could be to do with your job. I am seeing a lot of itchy feet happening, a lot of itchy feet. And also because, you know, you're ruled by Mars, and Mars also rules your 8th house, you're doing some deep soul searching. You're doing that psychological work. You're doing that, you know, there's fears. There could be some fears that come up that is about, you know, if I don't do this now, then I'm going to be stuck for the rest of my life. It almost feels like a midlife crisis. For some of you may feel like this, but it's mostly because, you know, you're itching for this brand new gate to be open, and the only way that you can see it being open is if you do it yourself. If you are in a relationship and it's supposed to go the way that it should, or it's supposed to go the long haul, it will. Not necessarily to mean that everyone's going to split up. It's just saying that something needs to be different, something needs to change, something needs to be moving forward instead of being stale and moving backwards. So I feel that one of the reasons why I do feel that there could be a ruthlessness is because, you know, things need to be scrapped. Okay, and it's definitely all across the board. So expect to see a lot of like Aries sun, moon, or risings looking very differently. So some of you going it alone, some of you going for the long haul, but there's definitely changes all across the board for you. So the card that you have, Aries, is adventure. So you're all about adventures anyway. Life is all about adventure. So this is, again, a brand new start, a brand new beginning. It's like a brand new era. Again, we are going through the nodal axis that started off in 2004, 2005. So yeah, this card is saying you're going to be going on an adventure. You're going to be learning a hell of a lot about yourself. You're going to be learning a lot about the people who are in your life, your career. Again, because the Mars also rules your 8th house, you're doing some deep soul searching. You're going to be doing things that you felt that was not within your reach. You're going to be reaching for it. This card is also saying that things that you felt were quite embarrassed about, you're going to dare yourself to go there. I heard rock climbing, so it could be rock climbing you guys are doing. But I feel if you want to heal yourself in any way, shape or form, this North Node will show you. It's going to be an adventure. So healing through meditation, yoga, but also healing through talking about your feelings, talking about your fears. Fears across the board when it comes to like your money, finances, joint finances, your relationship, even with yourself as well. I think when I said before that some of you Aries might be going too strict, too hard, be mindful of not putting too much pressure on yourself physically to look perfect. Remember, when we're working out or eating right, it's because we want to start from the beginning. We want to be fresh. We want to be healthy. It's not about the aesthetics. Remember, we're letting that go. That's Libra. So everything that's going to be happening between now and January 2025 is going to be an adventure. And yes, you're going to be planning, but know that there's going to be things that are going to be outside of your control. But regardless, it's a big adventure that that's happening for you. Taurus, how are you? So Taurus, I feel that you guys are very happy that the nodes are no longer in your sign, because it was a big one. Not only did we have these squares to Saturn, you guys may not have enjoyed that whole North Node, which was happening for you, Northern, you know, and even for Scorpions as well. So yeah, it's in your 12th house, and Mars also rules your 7th. So you're going to be seeing this. There's going to be a big time to rest, recuperate, spending time by yourself. Like I said before, there's going to be a lot of things to do with that, the physical for a lot of us. So with Aries ruling your 12th, you may decide that you want to do something physical for yourself, whether it's meditate, of course, meditate by yourself. But some of you may decide you want to do it in a small group, but some of you may decide you want to be by yourself a lot. With the South Node rule in your 6th house, this is, you know, the 6th and 12th house are never really easy houses. They are like Pisces and Virgo houses, and they are houses that you really have to really get your head around. They're houses that are not the most fun, but equally all houses have their, you know, they always have their place. So your place, you're going to find your place in the world very different to when it was in your 1st house. But nevertheless, this is a house that is showing you to slow down. You may not feel as ambitious before, but there are definitely things that you can do. But it's like you're going to be, you know, if you went really hard on taking care of yourself last time, Taurus, which may have been a lot of, and I feel that if any of you got good, if you got like, although it was hard with the square to Saturn, like, you know, you got the job, you got the promotion, you was the CEO or the boss. Obviously, there definitely could have been some hindrance along the way, but now it's like you're going to be looking at it very differently. Like, you know what, I'm still ambitious, I still want security, but I actually don't really want this. I want to be by myself a lot. So it's like, you know, there may be this opportunity that a lot of you could work from home more, or you may request to work from home, or you don't be around too much of your people, you know, the people that you work with. And it's also saying that, you know, even again, jobs can change. Like, you guys may decide that you want to go either the holistic route. Remember, Jupiter's in your sign. So it could be a case that you may go the holistic route, or work in like the fields of spirituality. You may even like build a business, like maybe working on building like a sort of like business, going on retreats. You maybe decide that you want to do like retreats for people. You want to heal people, but you also definitely want to heal yourself. So yeah, so again, jobs can change. You're looking at your job very differently. Some of you may lose a job, some of you may leave a job, but I feel that anything that is lost within your work, it is definitely because it's supposed to happen, but it's also about you guys figuring out what you want to do. Because I feel that Jupiter is going to be protecting you. So whatever loss is going to be happening, it's more or less that because something better is going to be coming on. But it also does depend if you were doing nothing bad mind when it was in your 1st. So if you rose to the ladder, the career ladder, in a great way, in an ethical way, then I feel that this won't be bad. But I feel that, because remember, the 12th house is about losses. But I feel if you did it in an unethical way, then you're going to start seeing the repercussions now. Remember, we're dealing with like karmatic events. These nodes are karmatic events. So again, so I feel that if you do lose something like a job, or you leave a job, or some of you are leaving a job because you no longer be in that rat race. But I think if you lost a job, it's because something was done that was not great. Okay. So yes, it'll be very interesting to see that. But regardless, you guys can be taking care of yourself. You know, you'll be more in tuned with your body, in tuned more with like what is actually going on spiritually. You know, I'm really taking up. You may thought, oh, that was all wahoo, I'm not doing that meditation, whatever. But now it's like, actually, I done the 1st session and I actually really like this. I feel more calm. I'm not feeling too much into this whole materialism, and I actually want to continue to do this. So it's actually really good. So yes, this is a big time for a lot of you Taurus. And yeah, again, like Aries and even Libra, you know, you're listening to your body, taking care of your body, taking care of things that need to be taken care of, and also relaxing and resting is key. So the card you got is environment. So I feel that some of you are seeking a different environment. There's going to be change of environment. This card is also about groundedness. So yes, being around like serene, being, you know, this is a green card. So I do see that a lot of you may be really itching for a different type of setting. And also spending, this card is also saying really spending more time outside in the earth, spending more time listening to your thoughts and feelings, spending more time being around an environment that's not too hectic. This is not a time to be being very hectic, even though, like, of course, like I said, Jupiter will protect you, but still, the environment's going to be changing for a lot of you. So really look at that as well. But still, a time, you know, just to sort of, you know, listen within. Hello, Gemini. So Gemini, like you and all the air signs, obviously except Libra, are going to be really benefiting from this. So this is in your 11th house, and with the nodel in your 5th house. No, in Libra in your 5th. So you guys are going to be, it's going to be fun time. Okay, very fun time. A time that's going to be very much a, I feel a lot of action's going to be coming to be making new friends, being around different types of groups, organizations. You could be like the leader of this humanitarianism project, or, you know, protests, or, you know, doing things that that needs to be, you know, things that need to be heard. I feel that a lot of you are going to definitely be heard in your groups, but also your goals. It's like a very ambitious time for a lot of you Geminis to really go for what you want. Any dreams that didn't feel that it's going to be working or seem very far-fetched, really go for it. You know, you're all about, you know, your friends and people who you associate with now. And even though it's in the 5th house is about your pleasures, children, creativity, and of course fitness, because fitness is going to be playing a big part. You're going to be looking at these things again very differently. Like anything that's going to be like of a creative source is going to be within the group. It's not going to be about yourself. It is going to be about yourself, but it's not going to be necessarily because again, you're all about newness. You're all about something, and also the fact that you know, Mars also rules your 6th house. You're going to be very organized. Like there can be so many projects on the go that you're going to be forced to be organized, Gemini, because you can be very scatterbrained. Let's just be honest. So it's a very fun time, and things that are going to be just for show. It's not going to be about that party. Yes, some of you may be thinking about children. Obviously, feels to do that children could be your own, or even thinking about it. Of course, it may be about the back burner for now, because you are all about this whole, you know, things to do for the people, but also things to do that your type of guilty pleasures as well. That is not going to be just for show. It's not going to be just for, not going to just be for like the glitter and glamour. It's just going to be like, okay, this is what needs to be so it can help like the greater of mankind. It's not to say that, you know, like even like your relationship with your friends as well is going to be very different. You know, I feel that if you guys are going to be, I feel that if you guys are going to be seeking any type of, again, newness, or looking at anything that didn't feel that will work, it now definitely can work. And you know, when it's the 5th house is a shame that the 5th house is going to be eclipsed, but it's not a bad thing. It's just that things have to be like for the group setting. It has to be for what you know, what you're about instead of what's going to be pleasing others. Okay. So, you know, and also with the square to the 8th house, you know, the Pluto square to the 8th house, there's going to be ebbing and flowing. There's going to be, again, some soul searching that's going to be happening. And this can really see you dig up certain key themes that were sort of brushed under the carpet. And I feel that this can also see some of you really talking about like certain fears. You know, you may have thought I can work this out on my own, but now it's like I'm going to talk about this within this group. Or, you know, how can I help others instead of just thinking I can just do this by myself. So the card you got is intuition. So intuition is going to be very heightened, and it's the Fool card, number 22, and the 22 in the tarot is the Fool. So there's going to be things that are going to be very heightened within yourself. There could be some thoughts speaking to you, Geminis, that may freak you out, but it's just like, oh, actually, if I actually listen to this and I actually say what's within me, it can actually change the course of things. It's like it could sort of like make history. So listen to your intuition, okay? And you're having a great time with these nodes. I feel that you guys are very happy because it wasn't easy when it was in your 6th and 12th house. A lot of you had a lot of losses, but you know, with those losses actually comes gains, and I feel that you're going to actually see these gains now. You know, you are going to be doing that creativity, but it's going to be helping others, but also you are still going to be shining. Okay, so listen to where your intuition guides you, because it's going to tell a bigger story. And the fact this is a Full card, Full intuition card, it's like you're going on a bit of a journey. You may not understand where it's going, but still it's like something brand new, very exciting as well. Hello, Cancer. So Cancer, this is going to affect you like all the cardinal signs, like I said in the beginning. So for you, Cancer, this is in your 10th house, and you're letting go of stuff to do with your 4th house, which actually is your house. Another reason why this will affect you, because the nodes are like lunar nodes, they're like moon nodes. So there's a lot of themes that's going to be going on. You're going to be feeling this very strongly and emotionally to do with your career. Aries, Mars, which is the planet, it rules your 5th house as well. So, you know, we're going to be seeing certain big themes to do with, you know, children, creativity. You're going to be, again, a little bit like all the cardinal signs. There's going to be lots of changes when it comes to physical, personal as well, your relationships. Let's not forget the square that's going to be in your 7th house. So I feel for you Cancers, not only is it going to be a big one, I feel you guys will probably look back, because you know you're a very nostalgic sign. You'll look back what happened 18 years ago when it came to your career. Or even if you was a teenager then, a young adult, there were things that happened then in the noughties. And it could be a case of like, oh, things were great, but actually, or things weren't so great, but actually I want something to be better now. Because, you know, last time we had Jupiter, which was in a different sign. I believe that it was in, yeah, it wasn't in a nice sign for you. Not a great sign, but it wasn't in a sign that actually benefits you. So obviously other planet positions would change as well. But now this is going to be about your career. There's going to be, of course, changes in your status. So this could see you, although this does square you, there could be you getting a new job, a brand new career, starting a new career, going it alone, really building up your business. And it definitely could be something creative as well. It could be a passion project that you've been putting off, or you've thought about and you never thought that it would actually pan out. And it's like now you've got this big surge of will, power, confidence, and you're really going to go for it. And nothing is going to stand in your way. Very ambitious time. Yes, you can still get a bit of niggles, but again, even if you talk about the outer planets like with the Saturn helping you in your ninth, and then you got the Jupiter in your 11th. There could be a lot of gains, a lot of brand new mental and spiritual insights that could really help. It could also help guide you in where you need to go or what you need to continue. Yes, home life is going to be calling, but if you're one of those cancers that is always at home, always doing things, fixing things, the head of the house, being really comfortable at home, or some of you could be just wanting to just stay at home and do nothing, it's like it's not going to be that type of party now. You may not be available to be cooking all the time. You may not be available in a strange way for your at your family's beck and call. You know, it's like, oh, Cancer will do it. It's like, not anymore. Cancer's busy. Cancer's out there chasing the dream. And also, let's not forget the 10th house is about status when it comes to your relationship. So you may be laying down the law in your relationship, like, you know what, this is what I'm going to be doing. So if you're going to try and sabotage in any way, then, you know, you're going to have to skedaddle, that type of thing, you know. Or it could be a case of letting your partner know that, you know, you want to be like the main breadwinner. You stay at home, look after the kids or look after the cat or dog, and I'll go out there and earn the bread. Because this can also show that some of you can make a lot of money as well. There's going to be a huge initiative to do something for the self in terms of changing up your status. I do see a lot of Cancers definitely going down that creative route, and it could be many things. It could be you buying and selling a home. Definitely you guys could be moving home, could be starting that project. You know what, I think we need to move. I'm not liking where we're living. You're taking the reins, and it's going to be shocking to a lot of people. It may not be shocking to a lot of you because you guys may have definitely had this within you. But there's massive, massive changes happening, Cancers. And, you know, I think obviously, you know, of course with squares, it can cause drama. But I feel that in a case that if you play your cards right, a lot of things can come a little bit easier to you guys as well. So the card that you have is financial discipline. Great card to have, Cancer. So financial discipline's like you're, again, like I just said, you know, some of you may decide you want to be the main breadwinner. So with that comes with you being financial savvy, financially, of course, making more, being on it when it comes to like the books, you know, earning more. Investing, some of you definitely could be, like I said before, you could be definitely investing in a home property. You may actually want to move out of where you're living. You've probably been living here for 18 years, and now it will be that time to leave. I know it sounds strange in a strange way, but I don't think that you guys will be as easy access to how you were before when it comes to like your family. And also, if you guys are one of those, again, if you guys, that's my favorite word as well. Again, if you guys are one of those Cancers that likes to just chill and relax, it's not going to be that party as well. There's this destiny pushing you to the forefront of you know, getting what you want in terms of your career. And even like your bosses or even like people that you work with are going to be seeing something different. Even your family are going to be seeing like a different type of Cancer, you know. So the great card you got is for financial discipline. Not only are you going to be making more, you're also going to be, you could be very strict with what needs to be spent, being a bit more disciplined as well on what you're spending, you know, working together with your partner. And also, if you guys are also get to be that CEO, or if you're like doing like a new job, or you've got a job that is about the books in terms of money, you guys are going to be on it. It's like, okay, this needs to be spent out, this needs to be paid in, this is what our company needs, you know. It's just going to be a very different type of Cancer. So the card, the fact you've got financial discipline, things are going to be very strict when it comes to your money, but big changes in your job, Cancer. Hello, Leo. How are you? So you're going to benefit from this, Leo, like you and Sagittarius, Aquarius and Gemini within your 9th house. which is a house that is great for you. And you're letting go of something to do, you're letting go of things to do with your third house. So you're being headed towards your things to do spiritual, your, you know, your mindset, your belief system. I can see a lot of you Leos really going forth when it comes to, you know, of course, higher learning. Something that's to do with the long-term goal. So this is you reading books. This is you learning a new language. Any of you Leos who are, I don't doubt, very creative, could be going down the publishing route. But because we're dealing with Aries here, and you know Mars, not only does it rule your ninth, it also rules your fourth. It's like you're going to be doing something, you're going to be doing like that whole learning definitely could be the comfort of your own home. Definitely could be you doing this whole, I want to, you know, I know where I see my future lie. So it definitely could be working from home or being more closer to home. And, you know, and it's always great to be, because it's like, it's a very ambitious time for you Leos, that you really want to better yourself. Like your mind's going to be, again, expanded to the wider world of what's going on, not just within your realm. It's like, I need to see what else is going on. So scouring papers, reading books about philosophy. Yes, again, I think everyone, there's going to be changes within the job, their career status, but also it's about bettering ourselves. Remember, we're starting fresh here. So looking at what is missing in your life, Leo, in terms of views, worldly views, updating skills. Because remember, the third house, you're going to be letting go of doing things just for like the frivolous, like things that are going to be just benefiting you just for now. That is like, you know, just like, you know, I feel that instead of you going on the internet for getting what you need to get, any type of information, you're going to actually be reading about it, going to libraries, going to different parts of the library, like history, economics, law. Like if you are in trouble, not necessarily trouble, it could be, but if anything that you need to learn, it's about going sort of like back to the basics, but doing it for yourself. And even if you don't need it now, you may need it in the future. Remember, the ninth house is a Sagittarius house, and Sagittarius are forever learning. So definitely, Leos, you could be very busy learning about different projects, subjects, different languages. If you decide that, if any of you are, again, creative writers, or if you want to work in publishing, or even start up your own publishing company, this is the time to do it. And, you know, the ninth house can also be a house that is very much about very preachy. So be mindful of not, nothing wrong with being excited about what you know. But if some people may have other views and you may be, yeah, but this didn't say that in the book, you know, this is what is right, this is what is not. And because you're a fixed sign, you know, it's like, this is what I say goes. So that's something to be mindful of. But also, yeah, I don't see a lot of you Leos. You know, it's like some of you may decide you don't want to be too much on social media. You don't want to be into this whole gossip and, you know, even if like your siblings are like sharing like news about celebrities and that, it's like you might feel, yeah, but where's the facts? Where's the actual, you know, is it the truth, or you just got this from the media? You know, show me your facts. So you're definitely going to be about the facts of life. And you guys are going to be very excited about sharing what you've learned and what you know. And it's great to be traveling. Some of you, all of you might be wanting to travel. Finding yourself as well. I'm picking up really finding yourself, finding where your life,
where you want your life to go, doing deep soul searching. Remember that because it rules your fourth house, which is about roots. You may, some of you Leos may decide you want to settle roots in another country. You may not want to be around too much a noisy neighborhood where people are arguing. There's too much roads are being built all the time, and every time you speak to like your siblings or even your neighbors, it's very like gossipy. Or if especially if you're around too much drama within your family, and you're gonna be, I feel this is a time that you're gonna be very disciplined about it. You got the Pluto, it's squaring your sixth house, which actually does bring you guys to be very what's the word, very even though you want things to be very structured, it could be a bit all over the place. Actually, I feel like some of you guys may be very going in on being structured with how your life to be in terms of what you're learning, but it can definitely be all over the place. So it could be a bit of a struggle to get very organized, and even taking care of yourself as well. But it's also giving you a chance to look at what you're putting in your body. Look at what you really researching about foods from like different cultures and different creeds. And you guys are going to be like, and even like being a professor or a mentor to people. I'm picking up with a lot of you Leos that you're seeing who needs support and actually who needs help, and you're going to be very open to it. So it's actually a very spiritual time for a lot of you Leos. And the card you got is spirituality. Can you believe that? You got a spirituality card. Because you're going in, you're going deep. You're finding yourself. You're finding like your actual voice. You're doing like the inner work, which is essential during this next 18 months. And you're going to come out of it very differently. So the spirituality card is saying just go deep within spiritual realms. Sagittarius card is not just about spirituality, it is about learning and higher learning and traveling, about the law in that, but it's also about knowing your rights as well, and knowing and doing that work so that you can help others and teach others into their own higher realms too. So it's a great time for you, Leos. I look forward to hearing what happens. Hello, Virgo. So Virgos, you are, this is going to be a time where you guys may or may not enjoy it, because this is in your 8th house. And you definitely may have enjoyed like your 9th house action. You learning, higher learning, traveling, getting stuff published, teaching people, going back to college and uni. But now it's like, okay, I did all that. Very exciting, very busy time. I went back to basics in things that I needed to learn for myself. But now it's just like, we're going a bit deeper now. We're definitely going a bit deeper. You're going towards the 8th house, which is about, I'm going to say law, but it could be, which is about, your shared resources, debts, loans, rebirth. It's also about fears, sexual. It's also to do with the occult. And you're letting go of themes, which is in your 2nd house, about spending, your self-worth. So you and Pisces may, this is a time of slowing down. You and Pisces are dealing with the money aspect. Definitely dealing with the money aspect of things. So you're being guided, of course, to not sort of like rely on others when it comes to like your finances. Yes, you're going to be, because Mars also rules your 3rd. So you guys may be very sort of like strict, but also on it, being determined to do things by yourself. Yes, it's about shared resources. So it's money that you have with others, not it's your partner, but it's also money that you have with, like, if you're getting money from the government, if you're getting money from your it definitely could be money from your spouse. Like if you're not getting money you could be getting money from your spouse. If you are entitled to money, I feel that you could get it, or you'll be very determined to get it, because you're thinking about yourself as well. It could be your family. You're thinking about, no, but this is what I'm entitled to, not what I need, what I'm entitled to. So you could be very gung-ho. You could not be afraid to say what you think. You could be doing a lot of research, because it could be funds or money that's not being paid out to you, and it could be definitely a something to do with a not just a debt, but like money from like an inheritance. There could be a lot of sorting that money out. It could be people that owe you money. You could be very on it, like doing some investigating work. Like, okay, I've looked back 18 years ago and this is what you've owed me. Okay. And you're going to be like, I'm not letting this go now. Maybe because I was too busy, but now it's come back full circle and this is what is mine. So you're going to be very on it, very, very blunt. And this definitely could be to do, and this also could be with your partner as well. Like, you're spending too much money, this and that, this, and it could be a lot of that. Okay. Yes, it can cause drama and arguments, but still, you know, this is what has to happen in order for things to be settled, in order for things to be fair. You're letting go of something, you're letting go of like the second house theme. So yes, you're looking at your money differently. You're looking at, you know, yes, second house is about self-worth, but you're not gonna be like wishy-washy. You know, you're not gonna be, I don't see a lot of you spending money on I don't see a lot of you spending money on like jewelry and food, and you're spending things that are, you know, again for the long haul, but you're gonna be doing it very differently. Not gonna be spending it. You're spending money on things that you sort of need, not just for show. And you know, because it's a Taurus house as well. Remember, this is Scorpio and Taurus houses we're dealing with. That's why it seems so potent for you and Pisces. And yeah, I feel like in terms of like, how can I put it? Yeah, I feel like in terms of you guys gaining what you need and to do with like your self-worth is like, I just feel like there's going to be a bit more of a strictness that's going to be happening. And there's going to be more of a tightening of the belt, because you guys could find that you're not earning as much, and that may be to do with like you know, overspending, or your partner overspending. So that's why things have to be a bit more tighter. And you may find that you have to go without certain things, and it's not to do with food. It's mostly just to do with things like when it comes to like how you dress, and you're definitely going to be going back to basics. You're starting fresh. You're tearing up the rule book in a way, and you're starting like really fresh. You got the square to Saturn, which is in your 5th house. So, you know, your guilty pleasures it's going to be very different as well. It's going to be more like, I'm doing this for the children. I'm doing this because, you know, we've been wasting time. I'm doing this because we're spending for no reason. We're gambling things away. And it's like, we don't need to do that anymore. We need to, you know, really look about paying this off. Really look about saving more. Okay. And not just keep depending on handouts if you are. But still, I feel that some of you Virgos will definitely come into your own when it comes to taking care of your money. And you know, I feel that you being like this is because of fear from the past as well. Fear that you didn't have enough, fear that you just didn't take care of business, but now it's like really time to take care of business. The card you got is completion. So this is a number 9 card, which is actually a Virgo hermit card. So you're not going to be afraid to do this on your own. You know that certain things are coming to an end. I do feel that even though the 9th, 8th house is about money coming back to you, money that you're owed, is also a completion of, it could be like the final chunk of money. It could be like, okay, we're going to sort this out finally. Obviously the beginning of an end of a cycle, but we're beginning a new one. We're not going to be spending how we used to, but now we're just going to come together and just do this. So, and also the fact that it's a hermit card, which is your card, you're going to be taking care of yourself physically as well. So doing lots of like breath work, I feel will help you. because some of you can get quite stressed because of all this bills and money that you have to deal with, all these debts and that you have to deal with, but still, there's a beginning happening financially. Hello, Libra. How are you? Big time for you, Libra. Big time, because we're going to have all these eclipses in you and Aries house. This is in your 1st and 7th houses. This is your relationship. This is to do with business, personal, contracts. You're going to be building definitely a relationship with yourself. You know, the fact that Mars rules your 2nd house of self-worth. You know, you guys are going into again, there's going to be some changes that happen within your relationships. And remember, we're dealing with fate here. So we could see, obviously I'm going to talk about it more when the eclipses happen, when it comes to like fated relationships. But still, we could actually see a fated relationship come, or you're beginning a new relationship. But this is different to do relationship with yourself. I can see some of you Librans not really spending too much on something physical, because, you know, you guys are ruled by, you know, you guys are very aesthetic, but you guys are also, you know, you're aesthetic pleasing sign. You know, you guys very much about looks and what's nice, what's expensive. So we can see a lot of that being sort of like shelved away, you know. And if you're one of those Libras that think that the body has to be beautiful because of how people will react, that's going to be very different now. Yes, I feel, yes, you'll be focusing on your relationships, but there's going to be a lot of yes, change, sorry, but it's also going to be lots of goings ins and going outs. Like, how can I put that? It's like it's a karmatic time. It could be judgment time for some of you. It could be like, okay, this is working and this is not working. This needs to be very different now. You know, if you've been putting your all, because remember, you're ruled by relationship, but if you've been putting like your all and losing yourself when it comes to pleasing others, or, you know, how you dress is to please others, or how you are, whether you are taking care of yourself or whether you are not, because you can't be bothered, or your partner likes that, or even like people that you work with who you're in partnership, it's fine. It's like, okay, I need to take care of myself now. So yes, we can see a lot of you like Aries eating a bit more healthier, really taking care of what you're eating, joining a new gym. It could be joining a gym, it could be not it could be a couples, but it could be like group gyms. It could also be you again not buying things to please others. You could definitely have more of a relationship with yourself, and it's not a bad thing, Libra. It's actually a great thing. Obviously, look back what happened 18 years ago, because there were definitely changes happening. You like Aries are going to be seeing, you know, jobs, different jobs or different themes within your jobs, bosses, your deep relationships, definitely your friends as well. And you're going to be investing more in yourself, investing more in finding balance in all areas of your life. And it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be hard. It's just going to be that type of balance that we're going to be seeking. So yes, and even when it comes to like contracts, even when it comes to people that are trying to sabotage you anyway, you have to also look, Libra, if you're sabotaging yourself in any way. If you are just leaving things and thinking, I can do this another time because someone else will do it, someone else will pick up the slack. It's like time for you to, yes, work with someone or be in that partnership, but also making sure that, you know, things, important things are not left in the back burner. Because, you know, in the end, we're going to have to pick this up. Remember, the fact that it's opposing your 1st house is that, yes, you can do things by yourself, but also balance is definitely key. So the card, and also remember the square with your 4th house is bringing things more to home. The past could definitely come up. That's why I said look back 18 years ago. So the card you got is the health house. So your physical health is important, like Aries, like most of the signs actually. Physical health is important. Looking at how you're taking care of yourself. I feel that if anything does come up, it's definitely looking back to your roots, looking back to like your parents as well. Yes, there could be some drama with the parents. I'm thinking it might be you having some uncomfortable conversation with the mum, because you guys there's something unfinished that's happening, but also there's something that's left that's not been brought to the forefront to do with your past, and it definitely could be your past relationships. If you feel that you're not having as much energy or feeling as energized, look at what you're eating, look at who you're surrounding yourself with, look at your environment, because your environment is very detrimental to your health, but it's also detrimental to your future in a way. So there could be definitely a clean sweep. And the fact you got the health card is the health in general, like the mental health, the emotional health. You're going to be having to try and bring these two into balance. You know, the fact that you got the south node in your first and the north node in your seventh is we're trying to have a relationship with the heart, mind, body, and soul. So it's no surprise that you got the health card, Libra. So it's a big time. You got this long transit until January 2025. So big changes are coming for you. Hello, Scorpio. So Scorpio, this is a reprieve that's happening for you. You know, you had the, even as I speak, we've just come out of the eclipse that's in your sign. And that's the last one until we have another eclipse in Taurus, and then that's it. We're not going to see the north and south node in you lot sign for the next 8 or 9 years. So you guys are going through a change when it comes to your wellness, your health, physical, mental, emotional, people that you work with. Again, like I said with Tauruses, if you guys had it really great when the north and south node was in your within your first and seventh houses, you can see definite changes. Now that it's in your 12th and 6th house. If you've done the good work when it was in your signs, I feel that it will definitely continue. Just that work will be different. You may be starting like new projects. You may be starting a new job, working with different people, like your people that you work with. There definitely could be some shuffles. Also, this could see you guys because it's in your the things the south node's in your 12th. So you are being guided to not really, you know, some of you guys may actually want to be by yourself a bit more, because when it was in your sign, it was very hectic because of the squares to Saturn. And now you are definitely getting back to work. You know, there's new projects to do, new businesses to start. But also I am seeing that there can be some, you guys leaving your job, or in a way being, I know it sounds strange, but there could be like a shuffle, like someone's being pushed out. And it could be you, Scorpio. And I only say that it's because of the nodes that happen in you in Taurus's sign. Or there could be some demotion. Like if you didn't do the work when it was in your sign and now it's in your 6th, it's like you're not having that. You can have this, but you're not having that, you know? And the 6th house is a Virgo house. So it's like you're not going to be at the forefront. You're going to be pushed at the back. And some of you may actually like that. Some of you may actually like that, but you're being guided now to like actually put the work in. And if you've been lazy before, it's like the work is now going to be here. The work, you could actually have more work. You know, you might have more responsibility. Some of you will actually really love the responsibility. But because it's in the releases in your 12th is like anything that is sabotaging you in any way, it's time to look at that. It's time to look at it deeply. It's time to not think that we can do things always by ourselves. Deal with losses that we could have in a constructive way, not in a way that can sabotage you, not in a way that can hinder you. We're coming again to the mind, body, and soul connection. So you're going to be taking care of yourself. The fact you're ruled by Mars, and Mars is, Mars rules your sixth house as well. Like Aries, your physical body and you're taking care of yourself is going to be very, very important because of all the work that's going to be put towards you. And some of you may feel that you're working too much. Some of you maybe feel that, why is all this work on me? And that may be because we didn't do enough before, or we just had it good, or it's just like you can handle it. So that's one of the reasons why implementing stuff like yoga, implementing stuff like meditation, breathing, breath work is going to be helping you. Because when we are overwhelmed, which I don't doubt that you won't be, is these things are important mechanisms for the body and for the mind. The sixth house is also, even though it's ruled by Virgo, it can be also about anxiety as well. So you could be feeling quite anxious about what's going to happen because things may not be set in stone. Remember, we're going for a brand new cycle now. So there's going to be so much changes that you may be very resistant to it too. So the card you got is communication. So you're going to be communicating a lot with people. And you're also being guided to communicate more. The fact that the 12th house is you're leaving seems to do with the 12th house is like you don't want to talk to anyone. You just want to be by yourself. It's not going to be that kind of party. You're going to be like, okay, what needs to be done? This is what you need to do. Can you tell me what needs to come next? Okay, Scorpio, all this work's going to come and you have to communicate more. Again, you may want to be doing this by yourself, but you're going to have people that could help you. It's about being open to that help. And the fact that you got the square to Saturn in your third, you can come across as quite maybe aggressive in your speak. You can shut down. I feel some of you could actually shut down more. I feel you guys could actually be quite blunt in how you speak. You could be quite businesslike. There could be an overconfidence, which people may not take too kindly to. So it's about, I feel that some of you have to find a way to communicate in a way that people are not feeling that they can't talk to you. If you're like really deep into the work, people, oh, Scorpio, yes. Oh, can you help me with this in a minute? Or, that type of thing. So yeah, having open communication in all forms, whether it's writing, speaking. I feel there's some things that you guys want to say, but you might feel quite mute. Not in a bad way, but So yeah, having open forms of communication, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it, because this is very much an overwhelming time. And having that space to do things by yourself, but also asking for help is definitely going to be key here. So it's a very busy time for a lot of you Scorpios. Sagittarius, big, busy time for you, because this is in your fifth house, and you're letting go of themes to do with like your 11th house. So yes, we can see a lot of Sagittarians, the fifth house is about guilty pleasures. It's definitely about guilty pleasures. Big time for guilty pleasures. Having fun, creativity, gambling. Some of you may feel very lucky, doing things by yourself, going like your own road, changing how you look. Fifth house is also physical. You're a physical sign like all the fire signs. So I feel that a lot of you Sagittarians will be like, okay, because this is a fixed house, you're going to be getting very fit, very healthy. Yes, it might feel that it's just for summertime, but it's like, no, you've got to really look after your heart. You've got to look after your health. You've got to look after what needs to be looked after. If you've got children as well, you may want to be in the park with them a lot, doing badminton, doing football. You want to be at your best. So you're going to be, I don't know why I'm picking up, you're going to peak physically, but you may push yourself too much. So just be mindful of that. Do exercises that will actually give you stamina, but also do things that actually can help you rest, because you can go too far. Fifth house is also about, fertility, and that's, so all those themes could be coming up. Some of you may be brand new parents now. You're being, it could be guided to like want to have children. Yes, this could definitely happen. But also, some of you guys may work with children, do creative work with children, or even be a bit more childlike yourself. I'm so excited for you, Saggies, to have this. And the fifth house is about what your wants are, and it is about your type of fun. If you're in a relationship, it's gonna get more fun now. You're gonna do things that you may even talk to your partner and say, "Oh, what did you like used to do when you were younger? Let's try and do it now." Obviously, you're older, but it's like, let's try and do this now. Let's try and have more fun. Let's visit this place. Let's visit that place. You may do things. You maybe have an unexpected trips, or visit theme parks. I mean, yes, you definitely may feel lucky when it comes to money. So yes, there could be some gambling that happens, but you're not about you're very much about people. You're about positivity. You don't want to be around people that are going to be stilting you in any way. It's not about, because the 11th house is, you can be eclipsed by the 11th. It's not to say that you can't have people around you that are not that can't help you, because help can definitely come. But you're all about, let's go this way. Let's, nothing wrong with doing things in a group, but if they're not gonna be like down with it, you're gonna have to do this by yourself. Yes, your goals are gonna be changing, so you're gonna be having outdated goals gone and bringing newness in. I don't feel a lot of you don't want to be around people that are going to be negative in any way. So if you are, so your friendships can change, and we look at your friendship circle very differently, and switching it up, looking at your goals differently and switching up, daring yourself to be bold, daring yourself to be different, not doing the standard boring same old. You may even decide to change your environment to be around people that are very creative, very yes, they could be very Libra like, they could be very, yeah, just talking about, but having like-minded people, not having people that are um not even boring, but just like, don't dare to be different, don't want to stick to the same tried old tested. I feel that some of you also want people to actually speak their truth, not just people pleasing and agreeing for the sake of agreeing, so there's no drama, and seeking peace. So, and you're not going to be afraid to go your own way as well. You got the square to your second. So yes, this definitely could be a time you're going to be investing in your creative projects. You, again, like I said, a lot of you are going to be feeling quite lucky. So money can definitely come. I feel anything creative will bring like a whole new career. I feel that there could be some people that come into your life that can actually help you as well. They know who they know, you know who this one and that one, but it's going to be very much an expansive time, very exciting time. So the card you got is patience. You're going to have patience. It's the number 2, which in the tarot is the High Priestess, which is a very spiritual card. It is a card of mystery. So there are things that are bubbling under the surface. There are new beginnings happening. There's new action happening. Again, there's going to be themes and each situations, opportunities that come into your life, but things very will feel much up in the air, but things will move, but you just have to try and go with it, not try to dictate what should happen, and because it will happen. It's a very fun time. And any of you Sagittarians that are very much interested in the arts, there's going to be moving momentum. You just have to be patient. Okay, and also listen to your intuition, listen to that guide, and listen to that person that doesn't actually say anything, or listen to the people that don't actually say anything, because they are going to be more or less like your spiritual guide. But this is a very, very exciting time for a lot of you Sagittarians. Capricorn. So this is going to obviously impact and also affect you, because this is in your 4th house, which is actually a Cancer house. And you're being urged and guided to take care of things to do with the home. Okay? And you've got the Pluto square, which is in your 1st house. So this seems like things that you are used to, things that you're always done or gonna do when it's concerned the home, when it's concerned like your job, because you're being asked also to let go of things to do with like your career, your position. And even though you are ruled by the 10th house, it can feel quite uncomfortable for some of you. But on the other hand, it's like home is where the heart is. You know, you guys may still feel very ambitious, may still be trying to do that whole, work thing, that whole corporate thing. And it's going to be a case of, no, not anymore. Like your energy and vitality just may not be there. Like when you go into the office, you may feel that, oh, I actually don't really feel comfortable here. I actually feel comfortable. I'm actually more comfortable, more productive when I'm at home, when I'm around my creature comforts, when I'm around my family, when I'm around like pictures of my family, or, themes that are of comfort to you. And you may also find that your energy and even like balance wise is more stable when you're around themes that are really closer to you. So we're going to see another side of Capricorn, of course. We're going to see another side to you that is going to be very delegated to what needs to be fixed, what needs to be in terms of cooking, even cleaning. Not to say you'll leave your job. Some of you may. Some of you may decide this is not for you anymore. This is actually, I'm actually feeling very different. The Pluto in your first is like, I'm actually feeling very different. It's squaring your first house. So you guys have transformed anyway. And I feel that if you've tried to be like the old school, very, militant Capricorn, it's like, it's not that kind, again, my favorite word. It's not that kind of party anymore. I need to be around more of my family. I need to take care. I need to see my kids more. I need to take care of the needs of my home. And, I do feel that because it's the 4th house, it's a very nostalgic house. It's a very emotional house. So you're emotional. You're also being guided to be open up more emotionally. You guys may be talking more about your past, about your family, about your mum, about when you were younger. You could be telling your children about that. Oh, when I was young, this is what I used to do. And your kids could be really shocked because you've never spoken about that before. And also your family may be more surprised that you're actually more at home. You're actually helping more with like the homework. You're actually, cooking more. Yes, not to say that it won't be all plain sailing because this is a square. So you could be some drama at home. Like, you could be very, not competitive, but very strict, very bit more mouthy about this needs to be tidied up. You could be delegating more to your kids, picking up after themselves. Before it was either mum or dad that did it, but now you're like, no, you have to pick up after yourself. If you're going to be eating or whatever you eat, put it in the sink, wash your dishes. So you could be more of a leader at home, even though you're going to be spending more time there. There could be some, I wish you weren't home so much, but at the same time, they may even love you more at home. This can also see some of you Capricorn spending a bit more time with your parents. Could be taking care of your parents more, especially if they're elderly, visiting more, visiting like where you used to live when you were young. Yes, your career is definitely going to be taking a backseat. It's just going to be very different. You're not going to feel as ambitious as you used to be. There's nothing wrong in it. It's just more like, I'm not feeling like 100%. I don't feel comfortable in how we're getting that money. Or I don't feel comfortable how we're getting that contract. Yes, your people that you used to work with could be quite surprised or quite shocked that you don't want to be too much around them, because it can actually feel like it's rubbing you up the wrong way. But remember, we're coming back to our emotions here. So the card that you have is forgiveness. Ooh. So there could be some forgiveness that comes with this. I feel that you're forgiving yourself, that you're not the same. There could be some forgiveness that comes with your family, because there may be stuff that was not said that needed to be said. There could be some hurts along the way that wasn't really spoken about. Your parents, you could be forgiving your parents, they could be forgiving you. You could also be forgiving your past. You could also be forgiving yourself that you wasn't open as much emotionally. You know, because the fourth house can bring up themes that are like resurfacing, and it can make some of you feel more angry. But now it's like, you know what, I understand why my parents did what they did in order to sacrifice. I'm actually understanding myself, why I'm pushing my kids so much, or why I am the way I am. So forgiveness card is really actually a nice card to have for this transit for the next 18 months for you. You know, feel free to keep coming back. Again, like I said, it's going to be a very emotional time, because there's going to be some differences within your career. You're not seeing it the same. You're not even viewing yourself the same. But all in all, it's a transformative time to, you know, delve a bit deeper. Hello, Aquarius. How are you? You're going to be really enjoying this, like Saggies and Leos. It's going to sextiles you. So this north node in your third, and the south node is in your ninth. So, Aquarius. And you know, the ruler of this is Mars, which also rules your 10th house. So across the board, we're being guided and really being urged to start speaking your truth. Okay, saying what you need to say. Again, because I see that a lot of people are going to be starting up new businesses, taking care of themselves physically, starting from, you know, tearing up the rule book and starting from scratch. You guys, I feel, definitely will be starting like a new career. Could be in the media, any type of communication, whether it's writing, speaking, podcasting. When I also say speaking your truth, there's going to be a fearlessness to you guys. Be a fearlessness. It's not a case of that you're going to be leaving the facts behind, because you know the south node in your ninth house is about, you know, doing that whole deep study, and I feel you will be doing that, but you need it quick. So you'll be doing a lot more studying through the media, a lot more studying through social media, scouring papers, especially when it's, because the third house is a business house anyway. So yes, there could be definite new contracts that come. You're aligning yourself with different types of, could be groups and organizations, but could be people, doing a lot more networking. But again, you could be doing this by yourself as well. So you might, lots of ideas can come very quickly. They can come very fast. You won't have any time. It's like, it's not a time to really mess around. It's like, this is what I'm going to be doing. And because you're ruled by the 11th house anyway, you know, you're not going to be afraid to call out any BS. And it definitely can rub people up the wrong way. But you're all about speaking your truth. And if anyone says, have you got the facts for it? It's obviously, get those facts. Make sure you can back up your chat. It's really great time for you to have like papers, or have having like notes around you, because this energy is very fast. It's very furious. It's going to be a very busy time for you. Like all the signs that are going to be benefiting, it's going to be a very busy time. So yeah, so if you're going to be, so I can see a lot of Aquarians starting up new blogs, starting up new podcasts, and you could be discussing a lot more on social media about the themes. It could be you gossiping a bit more. You some of the facts that you want, they're going to be coming thick and fast. This is also to do with your neighborhood and your neighbors. So there could be some changes in your neighborhood, like new neighbors coming, you making friends with them. There could be changes with your siblings as well. You could be talking more with them, having a bit more fun. New friends can definitely come. You know, it's not about you doing any like long distance travel, because you want things done, because things are going to be very quick pace. So if there's anything that's going to be taking its time, you're not going to be bothering with that. It's like, I'm not going to be traveling all the way there to get it. I'm not going to be, if there's anything you want to learn, Aquarius, you going to be doing it through the media. Okay, you're going to be doing it through Google search. Google search is going to definitely be your friend a lot this year and for the next 18 months. You just, I feel that some of you may have to just delve in a way, delve a little bit more deep in order, if you're going to be saying anything, if you're going to be printing anything, you have to do the work as well. Okay, and even though the ninth house is a very spiritual house, because you've got the square to your 12th house, you know, you may find that there's not much of a connection to like the mind, body and soul. So again, even though it's a very fun house for you, it's definitely about like trying to listen to like the inner world, the inner spirit, the inner body, because you don't want to bring something out there and it just causes an uproar. And like I said before, have your backing, there'll definitely be people around you, but everything's going to be very fast. Everything's going to be like now. And yeah, very, very busy time. So the card that you have is domestic harmony, which is actually a strange card for you to have. Domestic harmony for me is like you're going to be seeking harmony in a very unconstructive way. It could be undomestic way, but harmony all around. This is a time to get your bearings in, get everything that needs to be done. Okay, and you Aquarians also are going to be very, I said chatty, but it's definitely a time that it's going to be, you know, finding that balance of saying something and doing something, and getting that balance of knowing where to go and when to stay still. And it's not going to be easy because your mind is going to be overdrive. Okay, so domestic harmony is just showing you just to sort of know when to slow down, getting that balance in, which is not going to be very easy. And, you know, not being although you're ruled by like groups and associations, not being afraid to go it on your own if people are not they're not actually listening to you, or they're not sort of like believing in you, or not being afraid. And also not being afraid to like, you know, it's not about people pleasing. Okay, it's not about people pleasing. It's about really speaking your truth and saying what you need to say. So a very fun, busy time for a lot of you Aquarians. And my Pisces, how are you? So Pisces, this is in your second house with the South Node in your 8th house. So Pisces, very busy time, because you know you had in your 3rd house. And let's not forget, you got this time, you have Saturn, which is in your 1st house. Now, the last time these nodes happened was 2004, 2006. I think I got it wrong before, but 2004, 2006. And that time, I believe that Saturn was in your 6th house, was in Leo. So it was a very different time. Like you were being the time for you to be pretty organized in your job, and also in terms with your, you know, with your finances. And, you know, this time around, it's a brand new beginning with this. You know, like I said, you know, we didn't have, I believe that you had Uranus, which was in your sign last time. It was in Pisces. We had the nodes, obviously, which was in Aries and Libra. We had Saturn in your 6th. We also had, yeah, I just, these are things that I think of. But this time round, it's very different. Yeah, very different. Because I can see some of you really, like, you know, getting like your finances in order. You know, obviously to do like the self-worth, and it is about money and business. I can see a lot of you actually starting up a new business, starting up a new like regime of business, really watching what you're eating, taking care of what you're eating. Because again, this is going to be a time where, you know, you're going to be making money. I feel a lot of you like looking at how you can like build your resources in some way, you know, which can actually benefit not just for you, but it can benefit like your family. You could be very busy. You know, I feel also that a lot of you are not going to be dependent on anyone as well. The fact that Saturn's in your 1st house as well is very, you know, it's like you're going to be taking these things very seriously. So the 8th house is like not like dependent on like the government, dependent on your spouse. Nothing wrong in it, but still, like, you want to have like your little nest egg, and you don't want no one saying that you owe this and you owe that. So you're going to be really charging forth with building up a business, whether it's through your own creativity or having your job and having like a side hustle. Also, even like how you're taking care of yourself, we can be very, it's like a brand new beginning of really taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, taking care of what you're eating, taking care of, like, I'm picking up taking care of your hair. You could be doing like the whole vitamin supplements as well. You could be very strict. You could be very, very strict. No stone unturned. You could definitely be like that boss, you know, and being very diligent with your finances, not, you know, going over the books, going over the paper. And, you know, it's going to be more like your partner will be asking you for money instead of you asking your partner for money. Your partner asking, oh my God, how come this, you'll be asking your partner, how come this is gone out and that money's gone out, you know, looking over like banknotes, you know, even changing like bank accounts. You're definitely about building, you know, and you don't, and if you were in debt as well, you can be writing those off because of your earnings. And also opportunities and possibilities are very, very much brand new for you. You got the square to Saturn in your 11th. So this can, even though it's a square to your 11th, this can see a lot of you like getting money back from like friends or organizations that you used to pay out. Or you may decide you no longer want to pay out to it because, you know, you've got to really take care of business. This can see a bit of like discord with friends because, you know, you're no longer want to invest in that group or organization anymore. You're really much about investing in your, you know, your creativity. You're very much about investing in your goals. Remember, this is to do with self-esteem. So I feel that regardless of what happens, your self-esteem will actually grow. You'll have a bit more confidence. So the card that you have is teaching and learning. So this is showing me that, you know, you could build like a business or investing in teaching and learning, and it could be you. And I think you had this card when the North Node was in Taurus, Pisces, because it's in your third house. So I think you had the same card. So teaching and learning is about you could get a job or have like a career, whether it's teaching and learning. Like you could be teaching people about building their money, how they invest their money, or you could be learning how to invest in your money, how to invest in your business, because the rule of this is Mars, which is in your ninth house as well, and this is about higher learning. So you could be reading up books about, you know, money and finances, investments. You could definitely be investing in stuff to do with like sports or agriculture, even like you know, having like a garden, like an allotment, all of that. This is definitely, you can be definitely investing in yourself for the long run. You're starting up a new company, you're starting up something new for yourself, and obviously it's going to be benefiting others as well. You're going to be working very hard in this. So a big time for you, Pisces. Very, very big time. Very much an ambitious time for you. Okay. So guys, long video. I feel that it had to be, you know, because this is again like a beginning that started in 2004 and it's now ending, not ending, but it's like a brand new time that started in 2004 and it ended in 2006. So we're going for that whole cycle again. So yeah, I wasn't surprised that this video has gone on long, but thank you guys very much for listening. Thank you for, you know, thank you for your comments. Feel free to leave comments, new comments. Thank you for my new subscribers who are subscribing. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, because that's how I grow my, you know, YouTube channel. And yeah, let me know how this North and South Node went for you. Remember, this is going to be up forever, you know. So feel free to come back as well, just to see if it all panned out. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.